So when you look at 1 Corinthians 11, 2 through 16, Paul talks about women praying and being prophets, and he talks about when they are praying and they are being prophets, they need to have their heads covered. And you can look at that verse and you can say that, okay, so that means that whenever a woman is praying, she needs to cover her head because her hair is this shameful thing that needs to be covered up. Or you can say that Paul is talking to a specific group of women at a specific time period, and that the verse has cultural context. Today, most of us look at that verse and say it has cultural context. It doesn't apply to us today. Well, in all honesty, when you're looking at 1 Timothy 2:11 through 14, an egalitarian would say it's the same thing. We have cultural context in this verse. Paul is talking to a specific group of women, and it doesn't carry forward to today. The women who Paul is talking to in that verse specifically are associated with the Temple of Diana, which a large part of the Temple of Diana was prostitution and sexual act. And Paul is saying to those women, don't get into leadership positions. Just sit back and learn, because that's what you need in this moment. You need to just be silent and learn and not try to place yourself in those leadership roles. We need to move you past what you were in when you were involved with this temple. When you consider the passage in Timothy 2, the common response to that is, well, just after that, Paul mentions that the reasoning he says this is because Adam was created first and Eve was created second, and so Eve is subservient to Adam, and logically you can see that there's a problem there. I mean, animals were created first, and Adam is not subservient to animals, and neither is Eve. So that just doesn't logically fit. And you also have to consider those passages that come after in the view or through the lens of the rabbi. So in Jewish tradition, Adam is at fault for the fall of man and woman, because Adam learned of the knowledge of good and evil tree from God, and therefore learned perfectly. And Eve had to learn from Adam, and therefore did not learn perfectly. They look at Adam as being the primary person at fault, instead of looking at Eve as being the one who's primarily at fault. If you look at it through this lens, it almost seems like Paul is saying this opportunity that is presenting to us, where these women need to take a step back, is a chance for us as men to step up to the plate and make up for our failings, and for our ancestors' failings in the fall.